Winter is here. It's so cold outside, but inside our houses, they are warm with all the lights and Christmas decorations. As you can see, I love candles. It's everywhere in our house, and I made a candle cake tutorial recently on this video. And today I'm making the Christmas version. So stick with me and let's have fun making them and celebrate this most wonderful season of the year. So before I actually make desserts, I always start from research. The candle section at Target smells like heaven right now. There were so many holiday flavors. But my ultimate favorite was this one. Smells like a winter log house. And this one, I love the lavender smell. And this one smelled so cozy. I ended up buying those mini tree color Christmas candles, and this one, it's called Cinnamon Joy, and this one is called Morning Mist. And this white one has no scent. I got it a while ago at Target as well. But that's what I'm going to make today. I'm going to make tree color Christmas candles. For my red candle cake, I'm going to try cranberry raspberry flavor. And for my green candle cake, I'm going to try basil and thyme with lemon curd filling. And lastly, for my white candle cake, I'm going to try spices with apple filling. I'm cutting a regular cake board that I can lay under the cake so that it's going to be easier to transfer to candle stands later. And this is a cake film. I recommend to use a thick one. Set it inside of the cake ring. I'll leave the links of where you can get some of those tools on the description below, so check them out later. Now let's work on the cake. Like before, I used my butter cake recipe. To see the full tutorial of how to make this moist butter cake, watch this tutorial. It explains all the important tips, including how not to fail. So far I'm whipping up butter, sugar, and salt together. And add egg and whip and add sour cream and milk together, only some of them, and after that add some flour and baking powder and repeat that process a few times till everything gets combined. This time I didn't add vanilla and dark rum, but it will taste better with them in my opinion. Bake with 350 Fahrenheit until it feels almost done, and the rest will be cooked with the remaining heat. Flip over and let it rest until it cools down completely. Cut with a cookie cutter that is slightly smaller than the actual cake ring. And today I'll do 6 layers of butter cake, but you can do less or more with your preference and adjust the height. And my cake is pretty thick this time, but you can make it much thinner with more layers if you want. Don't forget that it does not have to look completely same with mine, of course. The most important thing is for you to have fun in the process. And now let's make the buttercream. To make the French buttercream, you need butter and pot au bambe, which is a whipped egg yolk form with syrup. Watch this video to see the full tutorial along with the butter cake tutorial. It shows how to make it step by step. So right now I'm adding the syrup into the whipped egg yolk form, and once it cools down, add the whipped butter and keep whipping until it gets nice and fluffy. This candle cake is very simple. It's made with layers of butter cake and buttercream, and it's easy and fun to try different flavors and colors. They are just like real candles, so make your own and enjoy all the combinations. Now let's work on the cranberry raspberry preserve that I'm going to use for the red candle cake. Add those gorgeous cranberry and raspberry in a pan, also sugar, lemon juice, and mix. And I almost forgot, but don't forget to add water and salt as well. Heat it up with medium heat and you get a lot of scum like this, mainly from cranberries. So skim it off if you can and keep heating until it gets thickened like this. Looks so shiny and delicious. The cranberry skins do not melt down completely with heat, so I pureed them so that it's going to be easier to smooth the surface later because I'm going to add this to the buttercream. Cranberry and raspberry together smelled amazing at this point. It had such a refreshing, almost like rose hip tea smell somehow. That was an unexpected discovery for me. I've got lots of extra, so I added some to yogurt and ate for my snack, and I loved it too. Now let's add flavors to the buttercream. I added cinnamon and allspice for a white candle cake. I would say don't be afraid to add lots of them to give enough kick. For green candle cake, I added basil and thyme with blue, yellow, and brown colorings to make the earthy green tone. For red candle cake, I added the cranberry raspberry preserve we made earlier with some lead colorings. Transfer them into pastry bags and get ready to build the cakes. Alright, so let's work on the green one first. First, coat the side with a spatula to create a smooth surface. Drop the cake, pipe in lemon curd and buttercream on top, and repeat the process 3 times. Let me know if you are interested in learning how to make the lemon curd. I will make the separate video, but you can buy it if you want or try any other cream, jam, or fruit. And make 2 of the same thing so that you can stack them together later, and it's gonna be 6 layers in total. I'm using 2 cake rings to stack them together this time just because one is not high enough, but if you happen to have a tall cake ring or any kinds of ring that you can use for this cake, that is great. The process will be even easier. Next, let's work on the lead one. Do the exact same thing with the green ones, but with the cranberry raspberry preserve as the filling instead. One of the very important thing is that you need to chill them completely in the fridge or freezer before you stack 2 of them together so that it's going to be easier to take off from the rings. Make sure the buttercream is completely hardened. If not, it will be kind of disaster, as you can imagine. And for the white one, I filled with applesauce. I showed how to make it on this tutorial I made earlier, so check it out if you are interested. It doesn't have to be applesauce. Actually, I think it tastes so good with apple preserve or apple pie filling as well. Alright, so now let's wait until they are completely chilled.
Happy holiday, happy holiday.
After you take them off from rings, stack those 2 together, fill the gap or any imperfections with buttercream and smooth them out. Just as a small caution, when you use the freezer to chill your cakes before taking out the rings and cakes are completely frozen, I recommend to let it sit in the fridge a little while before coating those buttercream, because if the surface is too cold, it will be difficult to make it smooth. Your buttercream will be hardened way quickly after being piped. So it's just a little small tip. When the buttercream is cold, the color gets darker when you touch or rub the surface like this. The more you do it, the more it gets darker, which creates really cool looks for cakes like this. So here I'm doing that intentionally to create kind of like faded marble effect. Pipe more buttercream on top like this and create a dent using spatula. This will give more realistic candle look. By the way, let me know your favorite holiday candle flavor. I'm very curious to know. To create more smooth surface, I recommend to chill in the fridge once and smooth out with a small spoon like this, because it's going to be much easier to do that when the buttercream is hardened. You can scrape off buttercream like sculpture. And here I decided to pipe more buttercream on top to create more uneven looks. You know, when candle melts, it creates natural uneven looks, and I love that. You don't need to try to be so specific here. Enjoy creating the shape you want using your imagination, because each candle shape is so different depending on how air flows in the space when it's lit or how long it's lit. And this is brown coloring. I used black before but tried brown this time. I'm brushing it on top to add the ash dirt look that natural candles create. And for candle wicks, I used cherry stem before, but right now it is not in a grocery store on this season, so I tried apple stems this time. It's just thicker than cherry stems, but I love the looks too. And just insert it on top and it's complete. For this white one, I actually thought the apple flavor was not enough in one bite, so I would definitely add more sauce next time or even use preserve or apple pie filling like I was saying. And this cranberry raspberry one was my most favorite. It had very nice tart and bright taste. And this basil and thyme with lemon curd was close to tie. The herbs were not overpowering at all. I actually thought that I could add more, and the lemon flavor matched so well with them, and it was so refreshing.
Hi, Lily.
When I was about to eat them, Lei woke up from her nap. I was nervous she'll play with fires, but this is mom's right, right? So why not? She joined us celebrating the finish of these cakes. She was so excited and gave me lots of compliments too, which is so sweet. She is one of my biggest supporters for sure.
Mommy, look! Mommy, is that good? The makers. Look! Look, Mommy!
Be careful.
Yay! Yay!
Here. Heather, come here.
No. Okay. Wait.
Okay. What about this one? It's good. Try it.
Yeah, Mommy, I'll fold it.